Hello guys, and here is your weekly dose of urban news. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update, and as always, a massive thanks to my awesome Patreon supporters and everyone else who keeps this going. The first new generation MF19 metro train built by Alstom has begun operating in Paris on Line 10, which runs between Boulogne-Pont de Saint-Cloud and the Gare d'Austerlitz stations. The new trains can consist of 4 or 5 cars and are between 61 and 77.5 meters long, depending on the length of the platforms. They are also available in versions with automatic control or with a driver's cab, and the first train is of this type. In total, it is planned that the new trains will operate on 8 lines of the Paris Metro, with full commissioning scheduled for 2033. On Line 10, MF19 trains are equipped with a so-called comfort version, offering 146 seats, of which 102 are fixed and 44 are folding, with a total capacity of 586 passengers, which increases to 828 during rush hour. In addition, this configuration also fits the needs of lines 3 and 12. On other lines, the trains will run in high-capacity versions with more space for standing passengers. In total, Paris has ordered 147 such trains for a total of over 1 billion euros. The next story was quite unexpected for me. In London, they began rebuilding the City Hall building, which apparently had been empty for the last 3 years because the City Hall itself had moved to another building. It was built in 2002 by the project of Sir Norman Foster's studio during Boris Johnson's mayoralty and has become a remarkable part of London's postcard cityscapes. And by the way, the London City Hall rented it. But in 2020, Mayor Sadiq Khan moved the London City Hall to a new building, which this time owned by the city, citing cost reduction as the main reason. Since then, the building stood empty for several years until it was recently purchased by investors from Kuwait, who now plan to convert it into a shopping center. For this, the building is to be completely rebuilt according to the design by the American company Gensler from San Francisco. The facade will feature balconies with greenery, and the interior space will be increased by leveling the sloping wall. The spiral staircase inside was dismantled last year, and now the glass facade is being removed. Notably, the building was twice nominated for inclusion in the list of architectural monuments in 2022 and 2024, but Historic England stated that although the building is a symbol of the millennium, it is not suitable for listing as it is less than 30 years old. But wait, millennium was 25 years ago. Of course it has less than 30 years. What's the logic here? By the way, it is also interesting how ethical this redevelopment by another company is from a copyright perspective. It is believed that this is only the second case of demolition of a building designed by Foster. The first one was the problematic Hermon Hotel in Las Vegas in 2015. It is hard to say whether it was Foster's best building or not, as this is generally quite subjective, but to be honest, this news disappointed me. Meanwhile, Honolulu has launched an extension of its Skyline urban metro system, which is the first fully autonomous urban rail in the United States. The new 5.2-mile section runs from Aloha Stadium to the Middle Street Transit Center and has 4 new stations, one of which is in the city airport. This project is the largest investment in public infrastructure in Hawaii's history and marks an important step towards sustainable public transportation throughout the island of Oahu. The first section opened in June 2023 and runs almost 11 miles from East Kapolei to Aloha Stadium with 9 stations, and they cost over $12 billion to build. The line is served by 4-car Hitachi trains, 78 meters long, designed to carry about 800 passengers. A new tram line number 27 has begun operating in Vienna, connecting Floridsdorf and Donaustadt. It starts in Strobersdorf, initially following the current line 26 to Prinzgasse, and from there continues along the new 2.4-kilometer line to Asper Nord. The route, with a total length of 13.5 kilometers, have 28 stops, 6 of which are new. Along the way, passengers can transfer to 3 subway lines, U6, U1 and U2, the S-Bahn and various tram and bus lines. This creates efficient connections between two rapidly growing areas, transporting around 20,000 people to their destinations every day in an environmentally friendly way. Especially attractive is the short travel time. It takes only 17 minutes to get from Kagraner Platz to Asper Nord. The heart of the new line is the Green Boulevard, which will be free of car traffic and will be used only by public transport, cyclists and pedestrians. Line 27 will run on a 800-meter green track here, and cyclists will use a separate two-way bike path to Seestadt. And in addition, 300 new trees have been planted along the avenue. Another feature is the 120-meter bridge near Asper Nord, which carries the tram over the metro and S-Bahn lines. The new line is almost completely separated from car traffic, which makes it more reliable. During the morning rush hour, trams run every 6.5 minutes, and in the afternoon every 7.5. And now there is a completely different kind of news. In Lviv, Ukraine, they are preparing for possible blackouts due to Russian shelling of critical infrastructure, and within this framework they tested the use of buses on several tram routes. As a result, buses operated on tram routes 1, 2 and 7 throughout the day. This test made it possible to check the readiness of the transport system to function in case of a partial power outage, as well as to work out the interaction between carriers and the logistics of all services. By the way, to avoid confusion, it would be helpful for the city to introduce consistent route numbering, because currently there are tram, trolleybus and bus lines with the same numbers that run on a completely different routes. This can confuse passengers, especially during such emergency replacements of trams with buses, when they have to figure out whether bus number 9 is a regular bus or a bus on a tram route number 9. Yes, there is a small T on the display, but someone may not notice it. And also, the city has installed backup power units for 150 traffic lights at major intersections, which will allow them to operate during blackouts. And now, finally, for the first time in urban news, a story from Iceland. Yay! Applause, please. The capital city of Reykjavík held a tender for the construction of a new Fossvogur bridge, which is to connect the opposite banks of the bay of the same name directly near the city airport. The bids were recently opened, and it appeared that the lowest bid was 1/3 higher than the city's expectations. The city planned to spend about 6 billion krona on the construction, but instead received bids of 7.9 and 8.2 billion. The Fossvogur bridge will be 270 meters long, up to 17 meters wide, and designed for city buses, pedestrians and cyclists, as well as for priority passage of police, ambulances and fire trucks. Its design was selected at the architectural competition in 2021, which was won by Beam Architects, and it is expected to be ready for use in the fall of 2028. By the way, the city plans to implement the BRT line, which will also pass over the bridge. The new public transport system will be called Borgarlina. It will be a 13-kilometer long line operated by articulated electric buses. The line will be physically separated from other traffic and designed so that it can be converted into a tram line in the future. It's a very interesting project, and I hope it will be successful. Meanwhile, the Tokyo government has published plans to extend the Oedo subway line to serve the Nerima district, which has a population of 750,000. The line will be extended by about 4 kilometers northwest from the current terminus at Hikarigaoka via Doshida and Oizumimachi to Oizumikaguencho, adding 3 stations to the network. That was easy. easy peasy. The project is estimated to cost 160 billion yen and is expected to attract an additional 60,000 passengers daily. And finally, some news from Chile, where 10 new double-decker electric buses built by Chinese company BYD have been deployed in Santiago. They are 12 meters long, 4.2 meters high, and can carry up to 110 passengers. In total, there are now over 3,000 electric buses and 39 charging terminals operating in Santiago, and by 2026, the city plans to make 68% of its bus fleet electric. So, as for me, now it's time to start thinking about introducing in-motion charging on the main lines and thus getting the world's largest trolleybus network. And that's all the news for this time. So hit the like button, leave your comments, please, and see you in the next videos.